guys, welcome back to my channel. So tonight is a little bit of a change of pace. I'm going to be reading you to sleep with Shakespeare's Hamlet. This is my favorite Shakespearean play of all time. I think it's so complex and crazy and beautiful and existential, and it just raises a lot of questions. So to me it's very relaxing, and I hope it's just as relaxing to you. So sit back, relax, close your eyes, and just listen to some of the passages. I'm starting off with his soliloquy, to be or not to be, because it's my favorite. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep, no more. And by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep. To sleep, perchance to dream, aye, there's a rub. For in that sleep of death what dreams may come, when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us a pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of disprized love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quacious make with a bare bodkin? Who would these fardels bear, to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country, from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not? Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sickled o'er the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pith and moment, with this regard their currents turn away and lose the name of action. This next one is just an excerpt of Hamlet talking to Horatio, so it is not as... Why, let the stricken deer go weep, the heart ungalled play, for some must watch, while some must sleep, so runs the world away. Would not this, sir, and a forest of feathers, if the rest of my fortunes turn Turk with me, with 2 provincial roses on my raised shoes, get me a fellowship in a cry of players, sir? Next up, I'm going to be doing another soliloquy by Hamlet. This is towards the beginning of the book, and after he finds out that his mother has hooked up with his uncle after his father died, and he's having a bit of an existential crisis. I mean, who wouldn't? Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew, or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. Oh God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely. That it should come to this. But 2 months dead, nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent a king. Was that to this Hyperion, to a satyr, so loving to my mother that he might not deem the winds of heaven visit her face too roughly? Heaven and earth must I remember. Why, she would hang on him as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on. And yet within a month, let me not think on it. Frailty, thy name is woman. A little month or ere those shoes were old, with which he followed my poor father's body. Like now, all tears, why even she, oh God, a beast that wants discourse of reason, would have mourned longer. Married with my uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules. Within a month, ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears have left the flushing of her galled eyes, she married. Oh, most wicked speed, to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets. It is not nor it cannot come to good, but break my heart, for I must hold my tongue. And now for the last soliloquy. I, so got by you, now I am alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I! Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his whole conceit, that from her working all his visage want, tears in his eyes, distractions in aspect, a broken voice in his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit, and all for nothing. For Hecuba, what's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do, had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears, and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant and amaze, indeed, the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy-mettled rascal, peak like John of Dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. No, not for a king upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain, breaks my pate across, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose and gives me lithe throat as deep as to the lungs? Who does this? Swoons, I should take it, for it cannot be, but I am pigeon-livered and lack gall. To make oppression bitter or ere this, I should have fatted all the region kites with this slave's offal. Bloody bawdy villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain. Oh, vengeance! Why, what ass am I? Ay, sure, this is most brave that I, the son of dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words, and fall a-cursing like a very drab, a scullion, bite upon foe. About my brain, I've heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of the scene been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. To hear him so inclined, good gentlemen, to give him further edge and drive his purpose onto these delights. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video and it relaxed you a little bit. I used to be an actress, so doing these read-alouds was kind of nostalgic for me and I really enjoyed it. So if you like this, please make sure to like and subscribe below, and I will see you in the next one.